This story is horrible. This woman went on a date with a man that she thought was a potential suitor, only to end up being dismembered and cut into pieces for the purpose of a 200 million naira money ritual. How 35-year-old Suleiman Adijat was killed for money ritual is something that would leave you shaking. And the one thing about this story is that it exposes the chain of distribution in a long line of horrible people that deals in the business of human parts. This is not the first time we're talking about money rituals in Nigeria. And it doesn't look like it will be the last time, because it seems like there are more people out there who do this for a living. Now, it all started in November of 2023, on the 19th, when two men, Sheriff Agbai and Osajehan, contacted another man named Olu Samuel Monday to help them perform a specific money ritual called Oshele. Now, I don't know what this money ritual is, but clearly it's a type of money ritual that is certain to give the ritualist the exact sum of 200 million naira after 7 days of performing the ritual. Now, it's unclear who Samuel Monday was to them. It's not stated if he was a herbalist or a native doctor, but for him to be contacted, it was clear that he knew something about it. And when he was approached for this Oshele money ritual, he charged these two guys, the sum of 800,000 naira to process the money ritual for them, to get the materials needed, and to get the people who might also assist them in making it a success. This is business. This is my thing. If Oluwu Samuel Monday could perform this ritual where he would get 200 million naira, why would he be settling for 800,000 naira? Shouldn't this be something he would have been able to do on multiple occasions for his own self? That's the thing with these people that go to meet native doctors to be rich and make billions. If these native doctors could make you billions, why are they themselves not as wealthy? Well, after Samuel charged this man 800,000 naira, he started the process of the Oshele money ritual. But just like we see in a lot of money ritual cases, especially in this Ogun State area, there is always somebody being called. Clearly, Samuel could not do it by himself. And so he reached out to someone he thought could do it. A white garment prophet from Ibadan named Peter Oluwaloleshe, who they say is well experienced in the dealings of human parts. Peter's job was to get a young woman between the age of 18 to 20 for her head, breast, and private parts, and also her wrist. I always wonder why women are always the target for this kind of money rituals. Women and children, mostly. Now, the problem is, in as much as Peter was believed to be well versed in the human parts business, he too couldn't do it alone. And so he reached out to another white garment prophet in Lagos named Prophet Jamiu Yusuf, who was also secretly in the business of human parts dealing. They're always prophets. They're usually mostly prophets or pastors. That is what I've noticed. Now, Prophet Jamiu Yusuf on his own still needed assistance. For some weird reason, he needed to reach out to someone for this same business. And he reached out to an herbalist named Abidemi Moses in Ogun State. Now, when it got to Moses' turn to play his parts, which clearly is still the same part from the beginning of the ritual chain, of the food chain, find a young girl between the age of 18 and 20 to provide her head, breast, wrist, and other parts. This is what they've been looking for. This is how much to tell you that these people have the speed dial in line. All they need to do is make a phone call and they will get a fresh human head. Abidemi Moses clearly was up to the task. He could deliver. And I think in this food chain, he was now the next person to demand for a pay. Moses demanded for the sum of 600,000 naira to get someone. However, the person who was supposed to pay was Monday, Samuel Monday, the initial person that was met by those two guys from the beginning. However, Monday negotiated it from 600,000 naira to 300,000 naira. And all of this was towards November and December of 2023. Now, the problem is, even Moses himself, being up to the task, wasn't the boss of his own human parts institution. He was just an apprentice to a native doctor named Adebayo Aziz. You can see the line of people that they had to meet just to get this human head. So after Moses collected the money, he went to his boss, Adebayo Aziz, and told him about this deal. And Adebayo Aziz was like, say no more. Because this is apparently Adebayo's source of living. Adebayo Aziz is, according to what is being said, for 3 years has been living off dealing with human body parts. It's not clear his process, but given this story, you can tell that his process is most likely very straightforward. Meet a girl, profess love for her, get her to have interest in him, and whenever a client places an order, he strikes. It's not clear how long Adebayo Aziz and Adijat had known each other, but it was said that she worked as a security guard in a Winners Chapel in Ota area of Ogun State. And again, it's not clear how she met Aziz, but clearly she and Aziz had been talking. And clearly Aziz had been trying to toast her, trying to woo her, and had been planning going out on a date with her for a while. And so, on the 9th of January, 2024, that was the day Adijat accepted the invitation to go out on a date with Aziz. To her, this was just a date with a potential man, with a boyfriend, with somebody who could most likely be the love of her life, who could most likely be her life partner. She had even just closed from work that day and was very tired when she came home, only for her to receive a phone call from somebody believed to be Aziz to show up for the date. She told her sister that she was going to see someone in Atan in Ota, Ogun State, still around where she stayed, and that she was coming back. However, this will be the last time anyone will see her alive. This will be the last time her family, her sister, will see her alive and whole for the most part. Finally, in this long line of human parts dealing, the chain has been completed. The human part they've been looking for has been found. But the problem is they requested an 18-year-old to 20-year-old female. Adijat was 35, and it's not clear if the other people in the line knew, but again, this is business. How would they know? Well, maybe if they looked at her face, they probably would have been clear. Well, the thing is, when she went on a date with Aziz took her to a shrine. It's not clear if he drugged her or how he was able to convince her. But they usually have their way. This is something he has been into for the longest of time. When they got to the shrine, it was his apprentice, Abidemi Moses, who he handed her over to. And he was the one who facilitated the killing of Adijat, along with some other people who assisted. After she was killed, the needed body parts were harvested, and Moses took them to the people who had called him for the job. Samuel Monday and Peter Oluwaloleshe were the ones waiting for Moses in his house to bring the body parts. And it was believed that the body parts were prepared in a pot, cooked, and for some weird reason, the ritual took place. And all this happened in Moses' house till the next day. And after he was done, it's not clear what he did. They probably made it into a paste or into a cream or into something. And then eventually went back to the beginning, to the people, the two men, who happened to be boys from Edo State, Sheriff Agbai and Osajehon. They were finally given the final proceeds of this whole Oshele 200 million naira money ritual. And they took it back to Edo State. The money ritual has been completed. What was left to do now was to wait 7 days for the 200 million naira to drop from the sky. Now, around this time, Adijat has been reported missing, and the police were already investigating her disappearance. And since Adijat, before leaving, told her sister about where she was going and whom she was going to meet, it was easy for the police to start their operation. And through their special anti-kidnapping units, they were able to start making arrests. But the investigation took a while. And at the same time, while the police were looking for people to arrest, finding them one by one, the two boys in Edo State had already used this money ritual medicine for nearly 3 weeks. And yet, they were not seeing their 200 million naira. Sheriff Agbai and Osojehon were literally frustrated. Given how much they've put in, the money wasn't forthcoming. And this Oshele money ritual, they said, since it has a name, was supposed to be for 7 days. But 7 days passed, another 7 days passed, and another 7 days passed, and they didn't get the money. It's unclear if they kept calling these other people in the chain of money ritual to complain, and I'm sure they did. But at this time, the police were already on their trail. And eventually, all of them were arrested. By the end of January 2024, towards the beginning, every single 7 persons who were involved in this chain were fished out and arrested. Although there are other people at large, those ones who helped Moses in the killing of Adijat, they were not specifically in the line. They were just probably hired to lure her, kill her, and cut her into bits. And on the 3rd of February, it was said that the police went to the shrine where this sacrifice had taken place. And that was where they discovered a lot of things that made them believe more people had been killed for nearly the same purpose in that shrine. It was said 10 female handbags were found. 10 female handbags. Whew, this is 10 women most likely disappeared from the earth. They also saw 2 cement bags containing human bones. Axe, weapons, and other fetish items were recovered from that shrine. That must be the slaughterhouse of the dead. It was later said that the family of Suleiman Adijat were able to identify one of the 10 handbags to be belonging to Adijat. And I guess that was most likely, for the most part, what was left of her, given that most of her other parts have been used for money rituals. So it was unclear what they had left in her remains to bury. It's just unfortunate that we've come to this part in a country where even right now the economy is as bad as it is. Only God knows how much more people are willing to do for money. This news will be televised on national stations and people would see it. But yet, it still doesn't discourage more people from practicing it. A lot of these people in this food chain have been doing this for years. And in as much as they've been caught now, there are still people out there that they know who are also in this business. This is what I keep telling, or this is what I keep saying anytime we talk about these money ritual cases. All these herbalists, all these prophets, all these human parts dealers, when caught and arrested, the least the police could do is make them confess and mention names of other people who may not be involved in that particular crime, but they know are into that business of ritual parts. Because there's no how all 7 of these people don't know other people who are in it. For you to know who to call next for human head, it means there's a chain. It means there's a market. It's like going to the market to get meat. If this meat dealer does not have a specific kind of meat, he knows another meat dealer. Who knows another meat dealer? Who knows another meat dealer? You want to buy a plastic cup or something and the woman selling doesn't have. She knows who to call. People who are in this business know other people who are in this business. This is not the first time we have seen a line of people being arrested like this. There have been multiple cases. If those people had mentioned the names of people that they know, who knows, some of these names would have been called early on and they would have been probably investigated and maybe found suspicious to prevent them from killing another victim. This is just the one we're knowing. Adijat's story is just what is coming out. She is most likely not the only one. Like we've said, 10 female handbags were found in this shrine. And out of those 10, only one of their story is being told. So which means it's safe to say for every 10 persons killed for money ritual, only one makes it to the news. That is to tell you how common and how often it happens. People just disappear. People just vanish. And we can't explain. It's unfortunate. I hope during this investigation, the police are able to get enough information to understanding the black market and the underground market of human parts in Nigeria, especially in Ogun State. And maybe they can fish them out. The way the police are going after young boys, trying to harass them for being Yahoo boys, the way their EFCC is showing up at universities, trying to arrest all these boys in school because they are doing Yahoo, allegedly. If they put that energy into finding out people who are into human parts, many people by now would have been caught and more lives would have been saved. It would be nice to see them sneak into a shrine and just arrest everyone there. But yet, they are going to schools to arrest students who have laptops and iPhones. It's unfortunate. It's sad. I really do hope that we see less of this. She hustles. She works. She's a security guard. A very pretty woman who could as well be sleeping around. This is what I keep saying. Many people think it only runs girls and girls who don't have handwork. This is a woman who is working, who is taking care of herself, who has a job. And yet she still fell victim. So it's almost as if anybody could be a victim. Almost as if. You guys let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can also turn on notification buttons so should there be any future updates, you'll be the first to get notified. Thank you for watching.